Hi, welcome to Haley's Comment. Thank you for watching my channel. You're watching video 2 out of 5. Last week was all about how to sleep during the day when you're working nights. This week, it's going to be all about diet and nutrition. Next week will be all about exercise and physical health. The week after that will be about work-life balance, time and stress management. And week 5 will be all about mental health. Are you ready for some cooking methods and alternatives for night shifters who tend to eat unhealthy foods? This is how we combat that behavior. Keep on watching. Tip number 1, don't show up hungry. So when you wake up in the afternoon, get up and eat a small meal before you go. Make sure it includes complex carbs like whole fruits, vegetables, and grains. Keep your energy up. One of the challenges of working night shift is that you don't have a selection of healthy food to eat in the cafeteria like they do in the day shift. Which brings me to my first tip. Plan and prepare your meals ahead of time before. This is especially true and important if you're working a couple nights in a row. Pack healthy snacks. That can be boiled eggs and celery stalks, rice cakes and peanut butter, almonds and bananas, cucumbers and hummus. Pack healthy and stick to it. It's important to resist those pizzas that they order or donuts, fried chicken. Man, I've been guilty. My next tip is to drink plenty of water. I personally stock up on 1 gallon or 8 bottles a shift. My next tip is to chew gum when a craving comes, because they will, but don't chew gum and cold water at the same time. Comment below if you hate the sensation of chewing gum and drinking cold water at the same time. Another tip is to spread the meals you pack throughout several hours. Let's just face it, when you're working nights, you're snacking during the night. I know some people say it's not healthy to eat before you sleep, but sometimes I break this rule. It's important to eat in the right amount of time to where you're not hungry in the morning. The goal is to eat to increase your metabolism and regulate blood sugar. Your gastrointestinal tract has its own system, so it's important to keep it on a schedule. My next tip is to drink sparkling water when you have cravings. These are 2 of my favorite from H-E-B, and this one is sweetened cherry, and this one is strawberry lemonade. I'll leave a link of this in the description below. Another tip is to eat a high-fiber diet, because it holds onto sugar gradually to be absorbed in the bloodstream. Examples would be whole grains versus white bread, or a whole orange versus orange juice. My next tip goes without saying, stay away from highly processed foods with sugar and salt. Next, we're going to be talking all about the glycemic index, which is a measure of how fast glucose or sugar from food reaches your bloodstream. We want to stay away from high glycemic index foods like pastries, cookies, bread, juices. They can quickly store into fat, and they lead to rapid fluctuations in energy levels, leaving you with cravings for more junky, salty fat food. Instead, you can pull for one of these Crave or Quest bars that I have right here. These are from my boyfriend's shop, 5-Star Nutrition. This bar is made to taste like maple almond sea salt, but they make chocolate chip, peanut butter, and brownie. This Quest bar tastes like caramel chocolate chunk. I'll leave links to these in the description bar below. Another healthy snack you can always go for is popcorn and grapes, red or green. I like both. Comment below what you like. Put green if you like green grapes, and put red if you like red grapes. The next thing I'm going to be talking to you about are nutrition hacks. The first is to use vegetables as your base. Instead of rice or pasta, you could use spaghetti squash or zucchini noodles, cauliflower rice or cauliflower pizza crust, or you can use almond flour as well. The goal is to reduce the amount of refined carbs we take in. Next nutritional hack I have for you is to steep your herbal tea with a lid on it. Some of the beneficial properties of the herb are let go through the steam. My next tip is to soak your legumes for 24 hours. That includes lentils, quinoa, green peas, soybeans, chickpeas. It enhances the nutritional quality of your food. My next tip is to leave certain foods out, like onion, garlic, broccoli, kale. These are all foods that have activated enzymes that are enhanced when you let them sit out for about 15 minutes or so. Another tip is to squeeze a little lemon juice on top of it. Vitamin C is known to enhance the enzymes in these foods. My next tip is to eat vitamin C rich foods with foods high in iron as well. To enhance absorption, this could mean squeezing lemon juice or orange juice on a spinach salad, or having apples and strawberries with a lentil-based dish. My next hack is to make sure you're consuming an adequate amount of fats. It helps with the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, and beta-carotene found in foods like sweet potato, carrots, and squash. So you can easily cook with foods like avocado and olive oil. But other good sources are like eggs, coconuts, olives, nuts, seeds, pecans, walnuts, Brazil nuts. Why? Fats are important for hormone health, skin and brain, and blood sugar balance. My next tip is to combine fat, fiber, and protein in your meals or snacks to stabilize your blood sugar. This can mean fixing yourself oatmeal with nut butter, pasta with meats and vegetables, or rice and chickpeas with avocado. These are more nutritious, balanced meals and will keep you satisfied throughout the night. My next tip involves this little guy. Yes, that's right, smoothies. They're a great way to incorporate many vitamins and minerals in your diet, and this is a really convenient way to do it. You can easily just Pinterest recipes, and I have been known to take this with me to work and make myself a fresh smoothie. This is the NutriBullet. I highly recommend it. And it was a gift from my mom. My next healthy hack is to swap your oils with ones that are more stable at higher heating temperatures. Good ones are those that are solid at room temperature, like coconut oil. Butter and ghee are also alternatives to canola oil. You can also use avocado oil and extra virgin olive oil, or EVOO if you watch Rachel Ray. Another tip is to change your cooking method. Instead of sauteing, you could always steam your vegetables. You can do this lightly enough to where they're not mushy, but firm. And you can use broth in it to make it taste good. It'll give you more flavor and it preserves its nutrients. Next tip goes without saying, but you need to chew your food thoroughly. This increases the surface area of your food, and it allows enzymes to be broken down in our stomach. And it's overall just easier on the digestive system. Next topic I'm going to be talking about is all about caffeine. Raise your hand if you love you some coffee. And my first tip is to know the right amount of caffeine for you. Limit your caffeine intake when it's less than 4 hours before your shift ends. This is especially true for night shifters. Less coffee is more. Comment below if you hate coffee, which I'll have a tip for later. You could always try green tea, a sustainable source of energy without the crash. I personally like to use these Lipton blackberry pomegranate ice green tea mix with honey. You just take one of these out and put it in your lunchbox and you're good to go. Shake it up with a 16-ounce bottle of water. I could put the link of it in the description below. Next, I'm going to be talking about energy supplements. Just know what works for you. Like for me, I sometimes take Hydroxycut, but I'll sip on half of it one day and then half of it the next day. I make sure to cut off at a certain time so that I'm not going to be wide awake when I'm going to sleep in the morning. My next tip is to keep yourself from being ravenous in the morning when you get home from work. So if you're getting off at 6:30 or 7 in the morning, then I would suggest that you probably eat your meal at 4 or 4:30. Another recommendation I have for you are Premier protein shakes. They're about this big, and you put them in your lunchbox, shake them up, and that's a good meal replacement snack for you on the go. They typically have pretty good macros, like 30 grams of protein in it or something like that, and they're low in sugar and carbs. And to me, I find the chocolate one tastes the best. I know my mom likes to use the caramel flavored one for her coffee instead of a creamer. So do you have a sweet tooth? Switch to dark chocolate chips. You can get the Hershey, but I personally like Nestle. Comment below what's your favorite chocolate chip. I recommend just eating about 5 to 7 chips, and that's usually good enough to keep your sweet tooth at bay. Next tip is to cut out the sugar and starchy foods. Why? Bad bacteria and yeast feed off of it. It contributes to gas and bloating, so you want to look at labels. Avoid corn syrup. The next thing you want to avoid are food sensitivities like dairy, gluten, soy, and corn. When we eat it regularly, it harms our digestive system. So you want to take 2 to 4 weeks off from eating these foods. Keep a food journal with comments on how these foods make you feel afterwards. The next tip is to avoid eating when you're stressed. There's a thing called gut-brain axis. You should look it up. When you're stressed, your blood flow is less prepared for digestion. Eat when relaxed and appreciate each bite. My next tip is to drink warm lemon water, and you can have this any time of the day. It stimulates gastric juices and activates enzymes. Like peptide, it breaks down food and alleviates bloating. If you don't like the sour taste, then just add stevia. If you want to learn more about good digestion, check out Megan Livingston's channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. These are all the tips I have for you today. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two. Leave a comment below if you already do some of these things. Like this video if you haven't already. And stay tuned for the next video where I'll be talking all about health and exercise tips for the health professional that has to stay up all night. Until then, like Haley's comment, I am out.